Good morning.
Good morning.
Let us begin to study the Bhagavatam with this wonderful verse. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Dhyanagamyam Bande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaika Natham. In the Bhagavad, we came across a different type of conversation certainly coming up, and this is the beauty, and it's also depicting the picture of Didain society. We find that the very learned people who were rishis, they are moving here and there, traveling to different places, and the kings, the great kings, the rulers, they are talking to them, asking questions to them, and very pertinent questions, very important questions. We come across the conversation between a king, a ruler, and a monk, the rishi, the seer. So that proves that even the rulers were also highly educated in spiritual scriptures. Otherwise, it was not possible for them to get the interest in that discussion and also to ask that type of pertinent questions, very important questions. And they are not ordinary soul. We will meet Dattatreya Avadhuta. Is a great personality. And before also we meet another sage here in the Dattatreya. Markandu Purana, we find some of the references about the Dattatreya. And this is the problem in our scripture, in our history. They don't mention about who is the person, who is the father, mother, where he was born, when he was born. They always keep the attention on the teaching, not for the person. So this is the problem. Then afterwards, now it is very difficult to find out. So we find here in the Markandeya Purana some of the information about the Dattatreya. His father was Atri and the mother was Anushuva. The father and the mother, both of them, they were highly educated and spiritual people, Atri and Anushuva. Dattatreya was famous as a great warrior. This is also very, very unique. In his younger days, Dattatreya was very famous as a great warrior. He had very sharp intellect and keen observation power. Now friends, those who have gone through the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, you have observed how Sri Ramakrishna observed the things and then reproduced that also. When he was very young, he used to go to watch the village, the dramas, and he will be looking at those players, those actors and actresses. Actresses means the male again. So, and then he will come back, and all the ladies who were not allowed to go to watch that, they will be asking that young boy of 6 or 7 years old, "Hey Gadai, tell us what happened." And verbatim, he will be quoting the conversation, how they were behaving, everything he will be. So there is a sharp, very sharp observation power. Most of us, we don't have the observation power. Most of us. And many, I have a board over there, Swami Ishatmananda, etc. And most of the people, is it the room of the board is there. They don't see that, they notice that. The observation, but intelligent people, they're well-placed people. The observation power is a totally different type of thing. Once you see, you can understand. This, why I am mentioning this, we will come to know this young man, he observed the nature, and from the nature, he got all the lessons. And once he observed this Dattatreya, who was a warrior, and he observed that osprey is a hawk, a fish hawk. There are many varieties. The fish hawk, it catched a fish and it was flying, thinking that it will sit somewhere and then will eat. But immediately it attracted the attention of the other birds and they all chased this hawk. And hawk was a powerful bird, but that was not the time to fight, because he wanted to save his prey. So it was flying here and there, but it's no use, they won't leave. Ultimately, Dattatreya was observing, ultimately the hawk gave up that fish. Then all the other birds followed that, leaving him. And then he went and sat on a branch of a tree and happy. Dattatreya observed, and he afterwards he mentioned, Samishan Kuraram Jagnu. Kuraram means the hawk, the osprey. Samishan Kuraram Jagnu Bolina Onne Niramishaha Tada Amishan Parittajya Sa Sukham Samabindata. Observing that hawk, that Dattatreya learned that Parigraho hi Dukkhaya is the 11th chapter, 11th skanda, 9th chapter, first verse. In the Bhagavatam it says, sense objects is the source of sorrow and suffering. So recently we found that a lady, she was killed by some people. They used to come and they used to repair this and that. And in our country, we always become very close, and they will be serving the tea and then come over here and this and that way. Slowly that person, he became very close to that lady, and she was all alone, elderly lady. Then one day people found that she is dead, and she withdrew some money, and that also she informed that person, I am going to withdraw 35,000 or something like that rupee, and she kept that, and naturally out of greed she was killed. So all these days it was all right. The moment the money came, this poor fellow could not restrain himself, and he went to that extent to kill that lady. Of course, he was arrested and all that. But what we should learn, must be very, very careful when you are handling this. So if you are having all this, then you are attracting the other people, and problem will come. Parigraho hi dukkhaya. Parigraha, aparigraha. Parigraha means you are accepting. And when you are accepting, you are inviting the problem also. Now one young lady, she was a very ordinary young schoolgirl, Malala. Now she is very famous. Now she has commented on Indian Kashmir. All these days Indian people used to speak very high about her. Now suddenly she said something not against actually. She told you people should be careful, because when there is a conflict, mostly the children suffer. So she spoke like that. Immediately all people jumped on. her and said, why you should say like that? Have you not seen there? Why? Because your position. You are not an ordinary person now. So one should be very, very careful. That is exactly the teaching we learn. Our goal, to live happily, peacefully, and nothing else. Whether I am the President of America or I am an ordinary the person, it doesn't matter. Each and every one wants the peace and happiness, and also to some extent the social respect and recognition. That's all. Now I should not do in such a way that will create problem for my life. So I should not have that. And this is the teaching. Who taught? A hawk. This young man, and he observed the hawk and learned it. And it went into his character. Dattatreya practiced the nature of a child. He started practicing the nature of a child. Friends, slowly we are reaching to that place where we will listen to the Dattatreya, the highest philosophy of the Hindus, of the humankind, you can say. But how he is practiced, he was not having the guru, the formal guru. He observed from the nature, and from the nature he learned, and then he started practicing how the character of a child. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, mostly the highly exalted spiritual people, they will be living with the children to observe them and to adopt that character. What is the character of a child? If you give something, it will hold. If it is something colorful or making sound, it will hold. After some time, it will throw. No attachment or aversion, nothing. So we get this lesson from a child. Observation. Each and every one is teaching us. So Dattatreya, he practiced the nature of a child. He used to roam everywhere without botheration, without attachment, without desire. And yesterday we went to somebody's house. There was a small gathering of nearly 40 people. So a small little boy of 2 years or 2.5 years old, and he was playing here and there. The mothers or the ladies, they were preparing the food for the god. He never bothers about that. The moment he saw that he went and started eating that. Or like that. So for him, no attachment, no purity, no impurity, nothing. That is called abadhuta character. Dattatreya solved the mystery of this creation by observing a spider. Friends, they see that we read so much to understand what is this creation. And all the different type of religions, they are trying to explain what is this creation. And this young man, Dattatreya, he understood the creation by observing a spider. Yatha urnabhi hridayat urna santata bakrataha taya brihitta bhuyastam grasatdevam maheshwaraha. So this, as the spider brings out its weave from within itself. You know, the spider always creates that weave, all this from its mouth itself, sports in it for some time, and then withdraws it into itself. So mostly we observe this. And Dattatreya also observed, and he solved the mystery of the creation. So does the Supreme Being. From itself is creating, not with the help of anything else. Forget about the external thing, not with the help of anyone, because he was the only one. So the Supreme Being creating and spread and withdraw the universe by all himself. The Supreme Being, the absolute reality, is known in the Veda as Brahman, a Paramatman, or sometimes Satya, and many others name, they speak in that way, is the master of both Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti means the matter. Purusha is the spirit. These are the two things are necessary. The matter and the spirit. We will conclude by that we will understand all these things that we see only two types. One is matter, another is spirit, and nothing else. Within us, look at us, this body and mind are nothing but matter. And then within that we have a self, which is consciousness. This self, this consciousness, which is that goal, we have to understand that and reach over there. How? Through this body. So here he says, Dattatreya, he realized that this human birth is so precious. This human birth, even after having this human birth, if we are not thinking about the realization of the truth, is a great waste. So he is mentioning, Labdha durlabham imam bahusambhavante manusham arthadam anittam api iha dhiraha turjam yatetana pratet anumrittu yavat nisreshaya vishaya kalu sarvata syat. The human body, that's why Dattatreya in the beginning itself he is telling that because of the God, the human body which is attainable only after the countless birth. Sometimes we don't believe. Sometimes we try to ignore. The previous birth, after birth, we don't believe. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It's the truth. Every action is a reaction and the result. And the result where you are going to have, you have to enjoy or you have to suffer. You cannot. But in our day-to-day life we see, if somebody has done some wrong thing in the past, in the Second World War, the Germans, they did something wrong. Then after the war, when they were defeated, some of the people, they were hiding here and there and there. For a long time they were hiding. Then suddenly when he's almost 90 years old, then some people they found and and that time he could not move. Then the stretcher, they took him to before the judge. And then they said, we will put you in the jail, whatever may be the lifespan, but punishment should be there because of the bad karma, bad work that you have done. When we find this here itself, what about the spiritual? What about our life? Sometimes within ourselves, just by thought, we do something very wrong. Physically we are not doing anything. But psychologically, mentally, we are creating problem for others. I wonder sometimes the newspapers and the media nowadays very strong. Even anyone, any individual can create a problem for the whole human society, sending out a wrong information. Simply he will send out and very happy, all people are liking and millions will be liking, the effect will be devastating, they will be killing and then all these things. Do you think just by doing that, quietly he is sitting somewhere, no one could find him and he will not be punished because of the bad work? No. So the Hindu believes that he will be punished because of his work. So labdha katanchin, this narajanma, this human birth, bahu sambhavante, after many births we get this human birth. And now we should be using countless birth in various species. It's a very rare blessings. And the Bhagavan Buddha, he has mentioned that he was born before getting the Buddha 500 times. 500 times he was born in different species. Sometimes the pigeon, the bird, and then the lion, the elephant, and the low human birth, like that. In spite of his impermanence, it is very precious, as the knowledge of the supreme truth can be achieved only through this human body. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, to get the liberation you must have to come over here and to have this human birth. And there is no other way. So this is the important thing. The Avadhuta, the Tattreya, he is mentioning, a wise person should therefore strive for the attainment of liberation. Strive for the attainment of liberation. This liberation, the mukti, Avadhuta means the liberated soul. Avadhuta, the word means liberated soul. And this liberated soul, he is constantly, Avadhuta is a position. Dattatreya is the name. And he achieved that position, Avadhuta position. What is the Avadhuta position? Liberated. So what is this liberation? There is no desire at all. And there is no fear at all. And no ambiguity, no doubt, nothing. Just like a blazing fire. So that is called Avadhuta. The Avadhuta is not having any boundaries everywhere. So this Avadhuta is a very higher stage, which is neither attachment nor detachment. It is beyond both. So sometimes the sannyasis like us, we are not attached. We try to not to be attached. We are going on trying to practicing detachment. Avadhuta, attachment, detachment, nothing, no problem for it. Because there is no bound. He never felt attachment or detachment. Those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you know that some young people used to come to him, and Narendra was one of them. And Sri Ramakrishna will keep some sweets. Some people they have given. You know that we believe, and most of the religious people they believe, when you are offering something, if you are offering with some desire, it goes with the food. And those who will take it have to share that. So this is some problem, and it is not possible for the ordinary people to understand, but the person like Sri Ramakrishna could understand it. See, he understood that some people who are giving some sweets, very good sweet, but with some desire, he kept it separately. Some people, they came, the young people, he didn't give them those. Then the moment Naren came, he told, Naren, you eat this. So obviously the other people started thinking that it is a favorism. You like Naren, so you are giving the best sweets to him, not to us. Sri Ramakrishna told, no. The fire of knowledge is constantly burning in him. Nothing can touch him. And much afterwards, almost at the fag end of his life, Swami Vivekananda said, do what I say, don't do what I do. Because sometimes, because they are Avadhuta, so nothing can bind them. But we don't understand that. Oh, Swamiji used to eat this, we should eat that. Swamiji used to do like that, we should. Not like that. Because our condition is not that high. So slowly we will come to what is that condition of the Avadhuta. And Avadhuta seeks nothing and avoids nothing. Seeks nothing and avoid nothing. When I first joined, I was in Advaita Ashram. Then one of our senior Swami told, and when they allot the work, we should do this, you should do that. They were asking me to go out. I told, no, I like to be inside because every day there will be scriptural classes. I will miss that. So I told Swamiji, I don't like to do the external work. I rather like to be here so that I can. Then he said, it's a good idea, but Don't seek, don't shun. Whatever comes before you, know it that it is going to be good for you. Don't seek, don't shun. And when you are seeking something, we do not know, that will be a bondage for you. I learned that from him, the great soul. His name was Swami Ananyananda. Swami Ananyananda ji, he told a small, one or two sentences, the words. It's a wonderful teaching. Don't seek, don't shun. By following that all through my life, now I am almost 43, 44 years in this monastic life, there is no problem at all. Whenever they ask me, you go to the Andaman, and all people say, we are going to Andaman of all the places. It's a terrible place, no money, no people. I told somebody has to go. So why not me? To Arunachal Pradesh, okay, no problem. Just these two words, don't seek, don't shun. That helped me. So these are the teachings. If you don't seek, don't shun, know it for sure, somebody is there who will be protecting you. But Avadhuta never believes that somebody. He believes in himself, so we'll come to that. Swami Vivekananda, he is mentioning about this Avadhuta, and he himself was an Avadhuta. Still he says, men like this keep religion alive. Men like this, like the Avadhuta, no bondage, no attachment, no desire, no God, no sin, nothing is there. And the wonderful life. So Swamiji is telling, men like this keep religion alive. After realization of the oneness, they care for nothing. After the realization of oneness, we should not start from right now. Oh, Swamiji said, it's a high. So we care for nothing, not like that. So when we are teaching this, we have to understand what is my position. Where am I? And then we have to understand and follow. They care for nothing, feel nothing. They sit still, enjoying the bliss of Atman. And though red hot coals burn the body, they feel them not. Are you in that condition? Then it is possible. And this happened when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was meditating in a corner of a room, and he was in that house where our Jamindar Mathur Babu, he took him there in the Calcutta Janbajar as a place. Still that is there, but dilapidated. And the Sri Ramakrishna was immersed in meditation. Other people they were going, they were priests. And the priests, that they are different type. It's a business. It's a job. So they like to earn something, their livelihood, this puja. So obviously they like to always go and tell the person who is organizing the puja, you should do this, you should do that, so that they can get some extra thing, money or so. Sri Ramakrishna was not like that. He never accepted all this. But these people couldn't understand. So what they did, as Sri Ramakrishna was loved by that Mathur Babu, the landlord, other people were jealous. When he was meditating all alone, there was no one. This person put a burning charcoal on his shoulder and left. Oh, you're meditating, okay. And trying to impress our master. See how you meditate. Sri Ramakrishna was not feeling at all. So his condition, his level was so much, he left this body and his mind was soaring somewhere else. Please try to remember the body is burning. The living body is not a dead body. The body is burning and the burning charcoal is slowly going down inside. Can you imagine? At that moment, only the other people smelling the burning of the flesh, they came running to see what has happened. They found this on the Sri Ramakrishna. So naturally, the doctors, they took care and all. Sri Ramakrishna never mentioned anything about the person afterwards. Why? He said, if I had said that someone has done like this, So naturally, Mathur Balbu will be very angry. And in those days, there was no that such rule. The landlord had capacity to kill or punish or anything they like to do. So this is Swami Vivekananda is mentioning, they sit still, enjoying the bliss of Atman. Unless and until we are enjoying the bliss of Atman, this is not possible. So after reading that, I keep the charcoal, burning charcoal on my shoulder, let me try. No, it is not. It will be completely foolishness. These unique personalities who apparently live in the body like any other, but in reality not, when speak, become the song, the Gita. This type of people, when they speak, it becomes a song. So when the Dattatreya Avadhuta, he spoke, it became the song, and he expressed all his ideas, his teachings in 271 verses. The highest experience of Brahman. These are enshrined in a small book called Avadhuta Gita. It is having 8 chapters and 271 verses. In our bookstore, this Avadhuta Gita is there. Some is big with the explanation, and some copies are there, small, only the original and the meaning of it, the Avadhuta Gita. The very first verse in the Avadhuta Gita we find, Avadhuta himself, he is mentioning, Ishvaranugrahad eva pumsham advaita vasana. Advaita vasana. The feeling of the Advaita. Advaita means only one, no two. No two. This vasana, this desire, this thought, this idea, it can come only with the grace of Supreme Lord. Ishvara anugraha. Ishvara anugrahad eva. Pumsam, the human being, Advaita vasana, mahat bhayam paritranat. Mahat bhayam paritranat. There is no fear at all. What is the greatest fear of the human mind? Who can say? Death. The greatest fear is the death. Suppose all human being becomes Avadhuta, what will happen to the hospitals? And health insurance? They will all, their business will be closed. And that is the reason very few only get this. Not that they don't get the treatment, because the body is made of the 5 elements naturally. It's all just like us. But yet their thought, their mind is different. Sometimes the people, they make a totally mistake. They always think the Swamis, they are not in the body, so there should not be any problem in the human body. And it is not so. One person, I don't know why he liked me when I was very young as a brahmachari. He started following me here, there, everywhere. What happened to you? Why you were all the time with me? No, I like you very much. And that is all right, but why with me? Some other Swamis are there. And in those days, I was not giving any talk or anything, but he liked me anyway. One day, I came back and I was feeling feverish. He also came, so I had to sit with him. Then I took out the tablet, and for that feverishness, and he wondered, oh, you people are also suffering and fever and all this? And why not? Most of the time we suffer, sometimes only we are free. But he couldn't understand. Most of the time is we are in the idea of this jagat, the samsara. That is the suffering I meant. And he couldn't understand. But next day I was free. He was not there. So mostly they think that the Swamis should not eat, Swamis should not do this and that. It is not like that. It's only the ideas, the thoughts. They may be anywhere, but not at all attached or affected by those things. Ishvaranugrahad eva pumsam advaita vasana mahat bhaya paritranat. There will be no fear at all. Vipranam upajayate. They are saved from the great fear. So that is Now, when you talk about the Supreme Self, why then he is mentioning the word God's grace? This is the question. He is not accepting the conception of God, and he is a great Hindu. Thousands and millions of Hindus are following this Avadhuta. But he said there is no God. But in the very first verse he mentioned, Ishwaranat Grahad Eva, only by the grace of God. What does he mean by God? Here, what will be the God?
The soul,
That consciousness, supreme consciousness. So when he is using the word God, Ishvara, because there was no other word, Brahmanu Kripa, it cannot be that this God. Why? Because when there is any action, the supreme consciousness never works. And when it is working, it comes down a little. If you have observed, most of the images of goddess Kali is one Shiva lying down and the Kali is standing on the chest of the Shiva. Mostly the Hindus, if you go to the temples, you can find. There is a Bengali, the Kali temple nowadays. You can go and see the image. One Shiva but in reality, there are three Shivas. The first Shiva is completely dead, no action. And that is called the Brahma condition. And there, Sattva, Raja, Tama, three qualities and completely in equilibrium. And the second Shiva with the open eyes. First Shiva, closed eyes, just like day. And the body is pale, not white, completely pale. It's very rare to see these images. And second Shiva with the open eyes, but not active. And the third Shiva only is with life as if, and white body, opened eyes, looking at the mother. So first, second, and the third Shiva activity begins. So when the activity comes, then it is Prakriti. So with the Hindus, they depicted the Prakriti as the woman body, a lady, a mother. So that way. So this is, he says, because the God means the Supreme Being. Because I and the Supreme Being are different, the question may be, if I and the Supreme Being, are we different or the same? In the beginning, it is yes, we are different. And at the end, it is no, we are same. In the beginning means when you are starting. And that's why the God is over there, nobody is allowed to go over there, and like this. And then ultimately the thing will happen, the God and me are the same. I don't need to go inside the temple. So that is the ultimate condition. After experiencing the oneness, he says, Atmaiva Kevalam Sarvam. Now, he begins, he comes to that. He observed the nature and he developed 24 gurus, 24 gurus. Only I mentioned two. In the last lecture, I gave the name, the list of all the gurus, 24 gurus. Here today, I gave how he learned from a hawk or from a spider. And like that, 24 gurus were there. And it comes, Atmaiva Kevalam Sarvam, Veda Abheda Navidyate. Now he has reached to that height. Asti, Nasti, Katham Bruvya, Vishmaya Pratibhati Me. All is verily the absolute self. The distinction and not distinction do not exist. Please try to realize it, try to understand it. All is verily the absolute self. Distinction and no distinction, non-distinction doesn't exist at all. How can I say I exist and it does not? The very thought, he says, Avadhuta, very thought amuse me. It's a Vishmaya Pratibhati Me. Oh, you are existing. The existing means what? I was there all the moment, all the time, every time. I was there. Again, I should go back to the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. His physical body, he gave up. So we call that Sri Ramakrishna is no more, he is dead. And the mother, naturally, the holy consort of Sri Ramakrishna, like a lady, as like a woman, like a wife, she was crying. Then the Sri Ramakrishna appeared before her in that room. And today, why you are crying? Don't you understand that I am only from this room, I have gone to that room. I was in this body, I was having that. I am not having the body, but I am all the time there. You know it. Why should you cry like an ordinary person? So this is the height of India. These are Indian thoughts. This is the height of the Hindu philosophy. So he says that it amuses me when you say that you are existing. I am all the time existing. Avadhuta did not bother to enter into any philosophical argument. This is also very important in the Avadhuta Gita, to prove that oneness of reality. In others, they will be having the arguments to prove. Avadhuta says the statement, whether you believe it or not, accept it or not, follow it or not, it doesn't matter to Avadhuta. Because he knew this is this. Now suppose somebody says, most of the Bengalis are very fond of Rasgulla. And the fresh, when they are coming from India, if you ask, have you tasted Rasgulla? Yes, of course. How it is, oh excellent. And do not doubt at all. Because he will say from the experience. And if you say, no, I tasted one Rasgulla over here, and the canned Rasgulla, it is not that good, well, I don't know. But the Rasgulla is very good, Bengali will say. Because the direct experience, even nobody hesitate, and no argument, whether you believe it or not, like that he says, it amuses me that you are thinking I am not existing, I am existing, I am not this, I am this. No, I don't understand this. And the essence and the complete Vedanta is, he says, Ahamatma nirakara sarvavyapi savavata. Now there's a people, they like the Advaita Vedanta, many of the places, and very interested about the Advaita Vedanta. What is the gist of the Advaita Vedanta? In only one line it says, Aham Atma, I am the Self, Nirakara, Sarva Vyapi, Sabhavata, by nature. I am by nature, Sabhavata, by nature, not that I had to develop that, not that I had to achieve that, by nature. Sabhavata, formless, Nirakara, all pervading, Sarvavyapi, I am the Self. Now friends, this is Vedanta. So the Vedanta society that you have come and you are regularly attending. So what is Vedanta? This. It is not that you and these and these, it is only one. The feeling for only me. Oh, my husband is different, I am different. Not like that. Only one is existing, that is I. And who is this I? Brahman, Atman, Sarvavyapi, everywhere. I am thinking that in the September that I am going to give a retreat on finite to infinite. So in the end, in the Saturday evening, we will try to have the Vedantic meditation on this. Maybe for a little short time, maybe 10-15 minutes. The Vedantic meditation. I am not existing. Like that. So this Ahamatma Nirakara Sarvavyapi Sabhavataha. I by nature, I am everywhere. Sarvavyapi, I am Atma, the Self. Then the Dattatreya said, he is now turning towards the people. He said, you two are one. Who do not understand that? Why don't you understand that? And the people are coming to them. He is looking at them. He said, someone went to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, is asking about the God. And that someone was a very famous person. Now everyone knows him. Vivekananda. And he went and asked, have you seen God? What was the answer of Sri Ramakrishna? Yes, I have seen God. And I have seen God with much clarity than I am seeing you. Because when I am seeing you, an object, a person, I am using my eyes. My eyes may not be giving the correct thing, correct picture. But when I see the God, I see in the self. So obviously there is nothing which can give any other version. It's all clear. So it says, Tameva ekam hi katam na buddhase. Tameva ekam hi, you are also one, you are not two. Katam na buddhase. Why don't you understand this? It's so difficult. Even the personality, again and again we refer Swami Vivekananda because of his high intellect and understanding. This Vivekananda was also confused. He was also not accepting this Advaita. He was telling Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, apparently when you look at Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, always we say, in every biography you go, he is a worshipper of Goddess Kali. And before that he used to worship Rama, he used to worship Krishna. Then he is a pujari, he is a worshipper. And this worshipper is a Dvaitin, the dualist. When he is teaching his disciple, Vivekananda, you are one with God, Vivekananda closed his ears and said, no, don't say this. This is blasphemy. You should not say like that. How can I be God? I have so many other problems. But that afterwards, same Vivekananda. So when you are reading this very moment, we know, no, we are not in that condition. But if we practice, understand, then we can go up to that. Then Avadhuta teaching, Atmanam Satatam Vitti. How we can practice? Atmanam Satatam Vitti. Sarvatra Ekam Nirantaram. A very simple Sanskrit, most of you have understood. Know the self always to be everywhere. Sarvatra Ekam, one, Nirantaram, unintercepted. Unintercepted. There is no, oh, these people cannot be the God or that people. So when someone in the name of Hinduism, they say, oh, they are different, they should not be allowed to temple, or they are low caste, we should not go and eat. I really wonder how they can call themselves as a Hindu. Hindus are completely different. Hindu accepts everything, everyone, everywhere. Why? Because Hindu is supposed to know Atmanam Satatam Vitti. Instead of Atma, for those who are beginner, we say God. See God in everything. Swami Vivekananda had a beautiful lecture. The God in everything. So Atmanam Satatam Vitti, every moment. Then Sarvatra, everywhere. Ekam, one. Nirantaram, continuously. Then he goes another step, higher step. Aham dhyata param dheyam. Aham, me, I, dhyata, param dheyam. I am the object of meditation. Akhandam khandate katham. Now when we meditate, what do we meditate? So don't take it in a different way. Again and again I am telling, this is the ultimate truth for those who have understood. Now our condition, we are in the very preliminary, pre-primary stage, not even primary. So we are slowly moving. But when we are learning the goal, what is that goal? I am meditating on myself. Aham dhyata. I am meditation. I am meditating on whom? On myself. And that's why the Jnanis, they never meditate. The Jnanis do not meditate. Meditation means your mind and there is an object. So you are going and attaching with that object. God is the object. And I am meditating on that God. But here he says, When you are the all and nothing else, on whom you are meditating then? I am meditating on, the moment you are dividing God separate and I am separate, I am meditating on God, akhandam, khandate, katham. Why you are dividing the undivided one? This is the highest condition. It says, one and unintercepted. I do meditate, and the highest object of meditation is me. Why do you divide the indivisible? To live like a realized soul. Today's topic was how to live like a realized soul. This is the practice which you have to do. One must follow the advices of the Avadhuta. And he says, Janma, Mrityu, Nate Chittam, Baddha, Moksha, Shubha, Ashubho. You don't have the birth, the beginning. What is the birth means? Beginning. Mrityu, death. Death means end. There is no beginning, there is no end. There is no birth, there is no death. And Chittam, Chittam means the mind, is the store of all the recapitulation. From that store, whatever we have done before, all the impression in the mind, and we recapitulate that, the previous memories, it is also not there. There is no mind. For you there is no bondage and liberation, no good or evil. That is the reason previously this was realized long before. But the Indian sages never spoke this among the ordinary masses. They always say God is different, you are different. You have to pray to God, to develop the attention, to develop the concentration, to purify the mind and thought. But now in the modern days, when the society, human society advanced a lot, now they can understand very clearly. See, yesterday in the Bhagavad Gita class we were having in the Hyde Park, someone he asked. Now previously the rishis, they could see things just by through meditation. But modern days we can have that with the help of the TV, and not TV, even in the smartphone. So just FaceTime, and immediately you are reaching to the thousands and thousands miles apart, and you can talk. Are you having the same type of rishi power? Are the same? They are. What the rishis used to do, only one or two, individual. So with that capacity, they used to developed that type of capacity. They used to utilize the nature, harness the nature, and they could transport themselves to that particular place without physically going over there, see that, and can come back. There's a great, the soul is there in Bengal, and though he used to work, but he had that capacity. There's a lot, many books about that. And he could transport himself. Now, it's not necessary. Anyone can transport. From here, there one of my disciples, he was telling, Swamiji, my mother wants to see my Guru. Okay, the mother is there in India. So he called the mother immediately, and I wished before her. Had it been 100 years before, I would have been a great rishi, transporting myself over there. Just because the modern days, the credit goes to the telephone and the person who developed that technology. The same thing, but that is not the ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal? Ultimate goal is to get yourself completely free from fear of death. Completely free from fear of death. Some of the warriors, they are free. They go to any extent and they will be killing, and maybe sometimes they are killed. Not that. When you understand that I am only alone and eternal, where I am going to go? I don't have the beginning and I don't have the end. That is Janma, Mrityu, Nate. You don't have the birth or the death. Chittam, the mind also not there. The mind means they'll be bringing back all the impressions and like that. Bandha, moksho, shubha, ashubho. Then one lady sometimes says, now I am happy, but long back, when I was young, in the family, they never liked me, etc., etc. Now he is happy, but still that, the sorrow is coming back. Why? Because of the mind. Suppose you think, I don't have any mind, so there is no impression. You are completely free. No baddha, no moksha. I am bound and liberation. No conception is there. I don't bother about that. No shubha, ashubho. And then he said, why do you shed tears, my child? And beautifully he is mentioning, Katham rodishi re vatsa. Vatsa, he is addressing us as a child, children. Katham rodishi re vatsa. Nama rupam nate name. Nama rupam nate name. And from here I will take another extra 3-4 minutes. That is, what is this nama and rupa? In the Hinduism, in a very short, they give a profound philosophy. And sometimes they will give the picture. And through that, they will be teaching us the philosophy. Asti bhati priyam rupam nama chetangsha panchakam. Cheta angsha means chetana, consciousness. The consciousness has as if 5 parts, as if. In reality it is not. 5 parts. Chetangsha panchakam, they are having the 5 parts. In another famous book, Drishya Vivek, it mentioned, and the first 3, Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Brahma Rupam, that is the indication of the Brahman. And the last 2, Rupam and Nama, that is of the world. So we began with this discussion. There are 2 things all the time. One, the matter, another is the consciousness. This matter and consciousness constantly, and that is mixing up and we are confused. The more we go to the matter, because it is so close to us, very easy to perceive, easy to acquire, we are in more problem. But somehow if we can turn our mind towards the consciousness, we are free. And both are chetangsha, because they are also the part and parcel of the consciousness. This table and all this thing that we see around, and we think, oh, this is nothing, they are not leaving. Of course they are leaving. They have the consciousness, but they cannot express it as we can express. They cannot. Very subdued, but they are still. Why? Because from that same consciousness, all these things have come. Now the condition is, the mind condition, if we go to these things, if you go to a rich man's house, so many furniture, so many, they don't use, but full of furniture, here, there, everywhere, furnitures, a very costly thing. And afterwards, when the person dies, what will happen to those furnitures? One day some people will come and purchase that, there will be great bargaining, like that only. His ancestors will earn some money with those furnitures. And to acquire those furnitures, this man, he spent his whole life to acquire only that furniture. Is it not fun? So that is the thing. The moment we learn from there, nothing is permanent. I am having one sword. Someone, I don't know, I have got from American boy. He got it from someone, but the mother or grandmother told the sword should not be in the house. Maybe it is Indian thing, Hindu thing, give it to the Swamiji. They brought it here. I told sword also do not belong to a Swami, but anyway I'll keep it. I kept it secure. The sword belongs to a Rajputana. So someone, maybe some king one day used to have that great. Now the sword is lying over here. Where is the king? Where is that pride? Nothing left. So by this way, if we understand, Nama and Rupa, name and the form, they're all temporary. And what? Asti bhati priyam. Asti bhati, knowledge, and existence, knowledge and bliss. Existence, knowledge and bliss. I am, I feel that I am. Sometimes people, they are in great difficulty when someone in coma are still surviving. Then the doctors will be asking, do you like to take out the life support? There's a great confusion. The man is still living. So shall we take out the life support? Then he'll be dying. Are we not killing the person? And if we allow him, then he is suffering. So naturally, sometimes this type of situation comes. The Asti, I am there. That man who is lying like that, he feels I am there. That condition. I am. Each and every one will say I am. That is Asti. And the Bhati, this is the knowledge. And Priyam is the bliss, the joy, the Ananda. The Asti Bhati Priyam. So these three we should go, not the Nama and Rupa, name and the form, because it is temporary. So we will conclude when the Dattatreya says, and you have to be courageous to listen to this, because the Hindus, so naturally anyone, it's very difficult to accept this statement. Dattatreya says, Veda, na loka, na sura, na yajna, varnasrama, naika kulam, na jati, na dhuma marga, na cha dipti marga, brahmaika rupam, paramartha tattvam. There is no Veda. Can you imagine? The whole Hindu religion is based on the Veda. And this man says, the Hindu, the great Hindu, he says there is no Veda. And there is no world at all. And there is no God. There is no sacrifice or other things. There is no caste, no stage of life, no family, no birth. There is neither the path of smoke nor the path of light. So this is a long discussion. Maybe next class we will begin with this. And there is only the highest truth, the homogeneous Brahman. The I am the Brahmin, he is the Shudra, all these things, nothing. So this is Hinduism. When someone puts the finger on Hinduism criticizing their caste system, they don't know. They are actually not criticizing Hinduism, but some system which has gone wrong, not the Hinduism. And ultimate Hinduism is this, who never cares for the Veda also. Why? I am that Brahman. Why should I have to go to the book to read it? I am that. If someone comes and say, see, please read this, and what is there? No, Swami Ishatmananda, why should I read? So you'll remember your name. I am Ishatmananda. Why should I have to go to the book to learn that? It's like that. If I have to learn that I am Ishatmananda, of course sometimes some people they forget their name, then maybe the doctors they help. But when he's a normal person, you did not have to go and tell him. You go on reading like this, you will learn, because I know who am I. Just like this. Just like that, I am Brahman. And I don't need the book or Veda or any teachings to learn that. Thank you very much. Please repeat after me. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangha Pada Kramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरा असुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः